My beloved soul, do not skip this. Stay till the end. Because something huge is waiting for you. Not something loud. Not something chaotic. But something quiet. Something that settles gently into your heart and suddenly makes sense of feelings you have been carrying for a long time. The reason you are here right now is not random. It is not by accident. It is not because you were scrolling without purpose. You are here because your soul needed this moment. Needed this reminder. Needed this softness. And as you read these words, you are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to breathe a little deeper. You are allowed to feel safe here. My beloved soul. There is an energy moving toward you. Calm. Intentional. Respectful. An energy that does not rush into your life. An energy that does not force its way into your space. This future spouse energy approaches you carefully. Because even from a distance, they already sense that you are not someone who can be met casually. You are not someone who can be loved halfway. You are not someone who can be entered without awareness. And this realization is already affecting them deeply. They are emotionally shaken in a quiet way. Not overwhelmed. Not afraid. But reflective. Thoughtful. Slower than before. Because something about you makes people pause. Makes them reconsider how they show up. Makes them aware of their own emotional maturity. Your presence does this naturally. Without effort. Without intention. You may not even realize it. But your energy creates stillness. It calms inner noise. It softens defenses. My beloved soul. This future partner is not drawn to you because of perfection. Not because of appearance. Not because of surface attraction. They are drawn to the depth you carry so effortlessly. The way you listen without judgment. The way you hold space without trying to fix. The way your silence can feel safer than someone else's words. And when they sense this, something shifts inside them. They realize that loving you is not about excitement alone. It is about responsibility. Respect. Consistency. They begin to understand that being with you means being emotionally present. It means showing up honestly. It means choosing growth over avoidance. And this understanding humbles them. Because they know you are rare. Not rare in a loud way. Rare in a grounding way. Rare in a way that brings peace instead of confusion. My beloved soul. You have always felt that you were not meant for shallow connections. That small talk drained you. That chaos never felt romantic to you. Your heart has always searched for depth. For safety. For sincerity. Even when you doubted yourself. Even when you wondered why things ended when you gave so much. The truth is simple. You were never asking for too much. You were asking the wrong people. And now, this future spouse energy is learning something important. That to love you is to protect your peace. That to be close to you is to honor your sensitivity. That to stay with you is to choose emotional maturity again and again. They feel this before they fully understand it. They feel calmer when they think of you. More centered. Less scattered. My beloved soul. You carry a gift that cannot be taught. A presence that naturally steadies others. A way of being that brings calm into chaos. You do not need to perform. You do not need to prove. You do not need to chase. Your energy speaks for you. And the right person hears it clearly. This connection forming around you is not dramatic. It is not rushed. It is not loud. It is steady. It is intentional. It is built on emotional safety. And that is why it feels different. That is why it feels familiar. That is why it feels like something your soul has been quietly waiting for. My beloved soul. If this message feels familiar, if it feels like it is speaking directly to you, you can gently support this space by liking or subscribing. Only if it feels natural to you. Only if it feels right. And now, stay with this moment. Let it unfold slowly. Because what is approaching you is not meant to disrupt your peace. It is meant to meet it. My beloved soul. As you remain here, allow yourself to notice how calm your body feels when you imagine a love that does not rush you. A love that does not question your worth. A love that does not make you anxious about tomorrow. This future partner energy moves slowly because they understand something important. That real connection is not built through intensity. It is built through presence. Through consistency. Through emotional availability. And they are becoming aware that when they think of you, their usual patterns soften. Their defenses lower. Their need to impress fades away. They find themselves reflecting more than reacting. Listening more than speaking. Because your energy does not demand attention. It invites honesty. When they imagine being near you, they feel a quiet responsibility rise within them. Not pressure. Not fear. But a desire to show up fully. To be reliable. To be emotionally steady. This is new for them. And it matters. My beloved soul. You have always carried an inner strength that does not announce itself. A resilience shaped by experiences that taught you discernment. You learned when to give. When to pull back. When to trust your intuition. And even when you doubted yourself. Your soul never stopped knowing what kind of love felt right. You were never meant to settle for inconsistency. You were never meant to chase reassurance. This future partner senses that you cannot be convinced. You cannot be persuaded into love. You can only be met. And this realization shifts something inside them. They begin to understand that loving you is not about winning you over. It is about standing beside you. With respect. With patience. With emotional maturity. They notice how imagining conversations with you already feels grounding. How silence does not feel awkward. How stillness feels safe. And this is where they begin to change quietly. They start choosing clarity over confusion. Calm over chaos. Truth over avoidance. Because your presence asks for authenticity, without ever demanding it. My beloved soul, you are not someone who thrives in emotional noise. You feel deeply. You sense subtleties. You read energy before words. And this is why superficial connections always felt heavy to you. You were never too sensitive. You were perceptive. You were aware. And now someone is approaching you who feels this difference. Who respects it. They realize that being close to you means slowing down their own life. Being intentional with time. Being mindful with words. Being gentle with emotions. And instead of feeling restricted by this, they feel relieved. Because your energy gives permission to rest. To be real. To stop pretending. My beloved soul. You carry healing without trying to heal. Your compassion does not overwhelm. It reassures. Your presence does not overpower. It steadies. And this future partner is beginning to understand that you do not fix people. You invite them to meet themselves honestly. And that is powerful. They feel safer imagining a future with you. Not because everything will be perfect, but because everything will be honest. They sense that with you, there is space for growth. Space for vulnerability. Space for mistakes. Without fear of abandonment. Without emotional games. You may not always recognize how rare this is. Because it feels natural to you. But for someone who has lived in emotional noise, your calm feels like clarity. Your consistency feels like trust. Your depth feels like home. My beloved soul. This connection unfolding is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to align with you. To fit into your life without disruption. To honor your boundaries. To respect your pace. And as this future partner comes closer emotionally, they are learning that love with you is not about possession. It is about partnership. They understand that you are not meant for everyone. That your gift is selective. That your heart is intentional. And instead of trying to change you, they adjust themselves. They rise to meet you. Stay with this feeling. This sense of quiet certainty. This gentle knowing. Because this love does not announce itself loudly. It reveals itself through peace. Through steadiness. Through emotional safety. And you are already aligned with it. Even now. My beloved soul. As this energy continues to move closer to you, you may notice subtle shifts within yourself. A softening. A quiet trust returning. Not because someone promised you anything, but because your intuition recognizes something familiar. Something aligned. You are not forcing hope. You are allowing it. And this future partner energy feels that openness. They sense that you are someone who feels deeply. Someone who values emotional honesty over performance. And this awareness draws them toward a different version of themselves. A calmer one. A more grounded one. They begin to imagine what it would mean to truly show up for you. Not occasionally. Not when it is convenient, but consistently. They think about being present even in silence. Being steady even when things feel uncertain. And this thought does not scare them. It steadies them. Because your presence does not demand perfection. It asks for sincerity. My beloved soul. You have always had the ability to see beyond words. You notice tone, timing, energy. You feel what is unspoken. And this future partner realizes that with you. Pretending would never last. They understand that emotional games would fall flat. That half-truths would feel heavy. And instead of resisting this, they feel relieved. Because they no longer want to hide. They are drawn to how you create space for truth. How your listening feels like acceptance. How your compassion feels grounding rather than consuming. They realize that loving you means being emotionally responsible. Choosing respect in moments of frustration. Choosing patience in moments of doubt. Choosing clarity in moments of confusion. My beloved soul. You have carried your sensitivity with quiet strength. Even when others misunderstood it. Even when you felt like you were too much for some. Too deep. Too reflective. Too intentional. The truth is simple. You were never too much. You were just too real for those who were not ready. And now, someone is approaching you who does not want to dim that depth. Who does not want to rush your process. Who does not want to change your nature. They want to understand it. Protect it. Honor it. And this intention is felt long before words are spoken. They notice that when they think about you, their breathing slows. Their mind feels clearer. Their emotional noise quiets down. This is not infatuation. This is resonance. A recognition that your energy brings peace rather than chaos. My beloved soul. You do not need to prove your worth to this connection. You do not need to overgive to be chosen. You do not need to abandon yourself to be loved. This future partner understands that your heart is not something to be rushed into. It is something to be earned through consistency. Through presence. Through emotional safety. They begin to reflect on their own patterns. On how they have shown up before. On where they avoided depth. On where they rushed connection. And instead of repeating old cycles, they feel guided to do things differently. Because loving you requires growth. And they are willing to grow. You may sense this shift subtly. A feeling of calm expectation. Not longing. Not anxiety. Just readiness. A sense that your life is making space for something steady. Something intentional. Something aligned. My beloved soul. Your gift has always been your presence. The way you bring calm into rooms. The way people feel more themselves around you. The way your energy invites authenticity. And this future partner is already affected by this. Even before fully arriving. They understand that love with you is not about intensity. It is about depth. Not about chasing. But about choosing. Not about proving. but about being. And this realization feels grounding to them. You have always known, on some level, that you were meant for a love that feels like peace. A love that feels like home. A love that does not ask you to shrink or harden. And this connection forming around you honors that truth. Stay present with this feeling. This quiet alignment. This sense of being met rather than pursued. Because what is unfolding does not need to rush. It is already moving in harmony with who you are. My beloved soul. As this connection continues to unfold, there is a deeper layer beginning to reveal itself. Not through sudden actions. Not through dramatic gestures. But through inner shifts that feel steady and intentional. This future partner is becoming more aware of the weight of your presence. Not a heavy weight, but a meaningful one. A presence that asks them to be conscious of how they speak. How they listen. How they show up. They begin to understand that being close to you means being emotionally awake. That love with you cannot be careless. It cannot be inconsistent. It cannot be taken lightly. And instead of feeling burdened by this awareness, they feel grounded by it. Because for the first time, love feels like something that can be built slowly. Something that can last. My beloved soul. You have always valued emotional safety. Even when you did not have the words for it. You sensed when something felt off. You sensed when energy did not align. And you learned to trust that inner knowing. Even when it meant walking away. Even when it meant being alone for a while. That strength shaped you. Softly. Quietly. This future partner senses that you do not tolerate emotional chaos. That you do not thrive in confusion. That your heart requires clarity. And instead of seeing this as a limitation, they see it as guidance. They realize that with you, there is no room for emotional games. No space for manipulation. No tolerance for avoidance. They feel a natural urge to become more present. More intentional. More consistent. Because your energy does not reward inconsistency. It gently exposes it. And this awareness helps them grow. Helps them mature emotionally. Helps them understand what real partnership feels like. My beloved soul. You bring peace without asking for anything in return. Your calm is not passive. It is powerful. It steadies people. Grounds them. Helps them feel safe enough to be real. And this future partner is beginning to feel that safety. Even in imagination. Even in anticipation. They picture moments of quiet with you. Shared silence. Unspoken understanding. And instead of feeling bored, they feel fulfilled. Because your presence fills space without noise. Your energy speaks without words. They begin to realize that loving you is not about taking center stage. It is about standing beside you. Supporting you. Respecting your boundaries. Honoring your pace. And this realization feels natural to them. Because your energy invites partnership. Not control. My beloved soul, you have always been someone who gives deeply. But you also learned when to protect your heart. When to pause. When to wait. That balance shaped your emotional wisdom. And now, someone is approaching who respects that balance. Who does not want to rush you. Who does not want to change you. They sense that you are irreplaceable. Not because you try to be, but because you are authentic. Because you are emotionally present. Because you bring stability in a world that often feels scattered. And this recognition deepens their intention. They understand that loving you means choosing you daily. In small ways. In consistent ways. In quiet ways. And this feels right to them. Because they are no longer looking for excitement alone. They are looking for peace. My beloved soul. This connection forming is not loud. It does not announce itself. It unfolds gently. Like something that has always been meant to arrive when you were ready to receive it. And you are ready. Not because you are perfect. But because you are present. Because you are aware. Because you are aligned with what truly matters to you. Stay with this calm. This steadiness. This sense of being met where you are. Because what is moving toward you honors your depth. Your sensitivity. Your strength. And it continues to unfold quietly. Naturally. In harmony with your soul. My beloved soul. As you stay with this feeling a little longer, you may notice that nothing about it feels rushed. Nothing about it feels uncertain. There is no pressure to define. No need to label. No urgency to control what happens next. And that is because this connection was never meant to arrive through force. It arrives through alignment. Through readiness. Through a quiet knowing that feels steady inside your chest. This future partner understands now that loving you is not about grand promises. It is about everyday presence. About how they show up when no one is watching. About how they listen when you speak softly. About how they remain consistent even when life feels ordinary. They realize that your heart responds to reliability more than intensity. To honesty more than charm. To emotional safety more than excitement. My beloved soul. You have always carried a calm that others lean into. Even when you felt unsure of yourself. Even when you questioned your path. Your energy has always brought a sense of grounding to those around you. And this future partner feels that deeply. They feel calmer when they imagine being near you. More centered. Less scattered. More themselves. They begin to understand that you do not need to be convinced to stay. You need to feel respected. Understood. Chosen without hesitation. And this understanding shapes how they approach you. Gently. Thoughtfully. With care. Because they know that your heart is not something to be rushed into. It is something to be honored. My beloved soul. You were never meant to be loved loudly. You were meant to be loved deeply. In a way that feels safe. In a way that feels steady. In a way that allows you to remain soft without fear. And this future partner senses that loving you means protecting that softness. Not taking advantage of it. Not testing it. But cherishing it. They see that your presence brings peace. That your compassion brings healing. That your depth brings meaning. And they are not overwhelmed by this. They are grounded by it. Because your energy does not demand perfection. It invites growth. It invites responsibility. It invites emotional maturity. My beloved soul. You do not need to rush toward this love. It is already moving toward you at the right pace. You do not need to overthink it. You do not need to prepare yourself. You only need to remain present. Remain open. Remain true to yourself. This connection continues to unfold quietly. Gently. Naturally. Without forcing outcomes. Without dramatic declarations. Without fear. It unfolds through small moments of understanding. Through shared calm. Through emotional alignment that feels effortless. And as you sit with this sense of quiet certainty, there is no ending here. Only continuation. Only deeper unfolding. Only a feeling that something steady is forming around you. Something that meets you where you are. Something that honors your soul exactly as it is.